Kevin Joyce. Mr. Mitchell is my neighbor. I'm the luckiest man in the world to be able to live behind his house. He's such a nice guy. But he inspired me because of what he did for the smoking ban. Mr. Joyce inspired me from how he personally increased our discount from 7% to 10% for our discount. We're going to try to get it to 16%. That's our next goal here, is to try to get our bar owners in Allegheny County and in Pennsylvania a 16% discount when you go and buy your liquor from the liquor store. This is not the beginning nor the end of the fight. We're going to fight taxes until they're reduced as much as we can. Here's Jimmy Mitchell. Thank you very much.
Over the past year, I've had a couple interactions with politicians and the government, and I'd like to share some of my observations especially at home with a lot of my fellow bar owners. First off, we as bar owners can make a difference in slowing the erosion of our rights as business owners and the personal freedoms of our patrons. And we must make an effort because the government will regroup and will keep coming back to regulating taxes. An example, Tony Petrolis and I stopped Allegheny County from enacting an illegal smoking ban last year. The state passed an even more loophole-filled smoking ban that clearly shows that they are more concerned with money and power than the public's health. Now, how you can make a difference: 1, support the fine folks here, in fact, in any way that you can. And 2, as a bar owner, you can come up with your own creative ideas to combat government's constant assault on our rights as business owners. You have an endless fountain of knowledge, literally right under your nose. Dan Honorado may have paid advisors and PR men, but I have the best bar of advisors beer money can buy. My own customers. Every time the government comes after our industry, I sit down at the bar with my regulars, I get out my legal pad and start jotting down comments and suggestions that they give me. And as the night wears on, the suggestions get more and more creative. Sitting with my customers discussing the evils of the drink tax is where I got the idea to challenge Dan Honorado to a boxing match. So as this rebellion grows, and it will grow, get creative ideas from your bar of advisors on how you can keep the drink tax in the limelight. And speaking of Dan Honorado, he wouldn't get in the ring with me, but we did cut a deal. He got a photo off the guest bar of the bartender at my bar, and in return he gave his word and stated as much on TV that he would work with the Pennsylvania Restaurant Association to lobby the state legislatures for alternative funding for the Port Authority. To date, we have one meeting, and it was several months ago, where Dan suggested that we ask Harrisburg to legalize poker machines in bars. This suggestion is almost laughable considering the investment the casinos have made in law enforcement waiting in the wing to pull our machines. In fact, this is why small bars and clubs were spared the smoking ban. The state legislature got one thing right: many bars and clubs will be put out of business when their licensed poker machines are pulled. So they toss small bars and casinos a bone. We'll cut off the arm that plays the machines, but you can still smoke with the other arm. Licensees of Allegheny County, we are entering the eye of a perfect storm. On one side silently sits the 300-pound gorilla, the Majestic Star Casino, patiently waiting to pluck our customers, employees, and our machines. On another side, the yet impact we will see of the smoking ban, and on a third side, the possible reality of a $5 gallon gasoline. And finally, on the fourth side, what brought us here tonight, the drink tax, which in reality had nothing to to do with our friends at the Port Authority. It has everything to do with Dan Honorado taking a ride on the backs of our industry and our patrons. A ride from Point A, the Allegheny County Courthouse, in an unbalanced budget, to Point B, a balanced county budget in the governor's mansion. Hearing all this, I leave you with a thought. If one person can have an impact, imagine what every licensee in Allegheny County and its customers can do. We cannot sit by as politicians, many of whom have never had to make a payroll or work a 70-hour week for months on end, continue to chip away at not only our rights as business owners, but at the rights of all citizens of Allegheny County. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in the fight of our business lives. So you know what? Forget about the boxing gloves. Let's go bare knuckle.